So I'm like sitting here and I'm high AF, and I'm like, why can't we, look at the season, like maybe have two separate campaigns going, right? Like think about that shitty Crowfall game where you have, multiple servers at the same time, right? So like one server it's Shadowbane. It's classic Shadowbane, what we have right now, right? And that's always running, and you build everything, your characters, your cities, your guild, your rep, all that stuff. And then like a separate server, and like the size of this server is probably like the physical geographical space is like the size of maybe all of Undead Island, and like you log into that separate server and it's like arcade mode Shadowbane, right? So characters are already made, like heroes are already made, right? Like you log into your account, you make your account, you log into it, and like maybe there's 5 accounts that everybody gets, and one has like generic healers, generic warriors, generic bow tunes, Templars, casters, already done, already geared. There's nothing you can do. You can't train anything. You can't do anything other than log in, play, and kill, right? So like this server is designed to be a quick fix server, right? So like all you do is log in, and in the game, once you get to Undead Island, like you say, okay, I'm going to play, Sylvanas, right? Like to use a WoW analogy. I'm going to play Sylvanas, or I'm going to play Lich King. And then you log into that character, right, on that account. Boom, dude, like you're automatically thrown onto Undead Island, and the server randomly picks whether you're red side or blue side, right? You can't get off Undead Island. The whole map is literally the size of Undead Island. And then like, in the middle of the island is some kind of big task, some kind of actual activity, right? But on the way to the middle of the island, there's the mines. And it's just the mines, right? Like, so you just run up, the server's running and the server recycles itself every 30 minutes, right? You run up, you claim the mines for your team, you're generating points, honor, all this kind of thing, whatever it is, some type of currency. And then that spawns things in the center of the map where there's like maybe some kind of siege-based activity, like a fort or something like that. Like, why can't we do that with Shadowbane, right? Like, we still have the classic server that's going on right now, the vanilla server of Shadowbane. But like, here we are in the last 2 or 3 months of this server, and there's nothing, right? Like, um, there's nothing for y'all and there's nothing for us. But I think like, to break up the whole thing of like, these guys are a big Zerg and they took over the server, just make it where it's red and blue. And when you log into that arcade mode server, there's a 50-50 chance you'll be red or blue whenever the map starts, right? And you go out there, you do the objectives, you kill shit, you break shit, and then you win the map or lose the map and generate some kind of honor that's transferable to the main server, right? So now we're talking like WoW. And so as you get kills or objectives, mines that you've taken, fortresses that you've destroyed on the arcade server, you're getting honor credits on the live classic vanilla Shadowbane server. And so those people who, accounts or whatever are getting live honor from the arcade server, they're getting gear or something, or credits or runes or something. Like you save up your points, right? You get credits or runes or something. They're getting that benefit and reward in like a, monetary cash, something capital on the live server, right? So I'm thinking like, like a mod of Shadowbane, specifically on one server that is not the live main server. And then we can do like throughout the season of 6 months, 6 months in the season, like month one is, something like Alterac Valley, right? Something like Warsong Gulch, or something like Wintergrasp from WoW. If any of you guys ever played during the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, Lake Wintergrasp was pretty badass. And so my thoughts are like, what if we replace the cities on the map, player cities, on arcade mode, and put like mines that are generating resources for like the castle on the red side or the castle on the blue side. And in the middle, there's like a dead zone. And then like that's like months 1 and 2 of season 1 of the season, right? So months 1 and 2, like if you think of the season in 6 months in 3-month chunks. So season 1 is like an Alterac Valley, Warsong Gulch type arcade featurette running concurrently with the live vanilla server. And then like months 2 and 3 of that 6-month season, so like the middle portion of the season, maybe it's like you log in and these characters are already made, so there's nothing you can do. You can't train. The gear is already chosen for you, and like based on honor of kills in the game or accomplishments in the arcade, you can go to the SDR vendor or something, and like now I'm thinking Dota, right? And like you can possibly buy a ring, like an FC ring, right? And so everybody's got these FC items in the game, and they're winning them by honor. And like the servers are constantly recycling themselves every 30 minutes. The server recycles and resets. Then you log in, you're either red or you're blue, team killed, king of the hill or something like that. Or it's just straight deathmatch, dude. Like you log in and it's a city grid, and that's the entirety of the map is a city grid populated with structures, and it's like nonstop kill zone, like no chat, none of that stuff, right? So find some way around the Zerg mentality of my guild versus your guild, or those guys all teaming up. And this is what I was getting to with, my next idea, thinking out loud, is so like 2 versus 2s, like 2s, like your group 2, and then like team, 2s, King of the Hill deathmatch. So like, maybe season, maybe the middle season portion, right? Like, 2 months 3 and 4, right? These 2 months, it's going to be something like you log in and you're automatically paired with someone, right? Like Pug, like in WoW, Pug. You're automatically paired with someone, and then, if there's other 2s, there's other people on the server, which there will be, because you all get bored of the real server. This is all running concurrently. It's like you're automatically paired with someone, or you can choose to pair with someone, and then boom, you launch into the server, and it's like you're in a city grid or something like the size of, I don't know, Noob Island or smaller, and you and your guy who have completed characters that are already completed are getting kills out there, and it's like a King of the Hill, right? Deathmatch, King of the Hill, 2s style, right? And then of course, then the final portion of the season, arcade featurette server, side server, concurrently running with the real vanilla classic server, is like 5v5 tourneys, right? Like, so now we're talking straight arena, like for real arena, right? So, if you can imagine like HOTS, Heroes of the Storm, you have characters already pre-selected, pre-designed for you, right? Like you can play the shaman, you can play the warrior, you can play Sylvanas, you can play the priest, the paladin or something like that. These kinds of characters using Shadowbane lore to make like the gods, demigods, rulers, kings of Shadowbane lore and history, that kind of thing. Invent it, make it happen, right? And then, those are like archetypical hero character styles, right? And you like play a priest, a rogue, a scout, a warrior, and like a fire mage, something like that, like a fire channy. And like it's a 5 group, right? And you just go out there and you kill, find some way to rank it, regulate it, I don't know, register it. You have this whole thing going right now with a MAC address, etc. So theoretically, couldn't we expand that to be like your actual, battle.net account, right? Your MAC address is tied to your account and your achievements. We've already seen that SBMU stats, right? Like TCTC has the most kills. Why couldn't it be registered groups on that same server thing, that little website thing, right? Like you register your group, like it's me and Chet or something. Me and Chet have a 2s group, and we've had this 2s group ever since, the beginning of the server cycle, the season cycle. And, out of the 130 matches that Chet and I have done with people, we've won 70 or 8% of them, or 90% of those matches. We start to become badass. You know what I mean? Like, I think we could do that here. And I think we need to think outside of the box and think about how we can do these things and throw all these ideas into, a hot fucking trail mix of just great shit and flavors that we could put together here, expand what we have, build upon what we have, and make something really amazing, right? Like, I really believe that this team can do it. And if we, the player base, came up with ideas like this and found some way to marry what we want with what we can have based on, the 20-year-old nature of this game, we could probably make something pretty cool. And we could probably, like revive the game, right? Can you imagine how wild that'd be? Like if you started hollering at your friends from old school Shadowbane days and be like, hey, We have this thing where it's two servers. One server is the actual Shadowbane server, and then we have like this arcade thing. And like you log in, you get points. It's on a website. You're ranked. Your people. You're building more than a player. You're building more than class and tunes and stuff like that. You're building more than a city and guilds and all that stuff. You're building like your reputation, right? Like, who are you? I'm Starbucks, and I have a twos team with PP, a threes team with Teed and Chet, something like that. And I got my fives team, which is like these other guys, and we're not so good on fives, but we're pretty good on twos. And, you better watch out for that TCTC guy. He's like the best 1v1. You know what I mean? Like, I think if we take all those elements together and put them together, we could really, redefine what we have here. And because it's uniquely Shadowbane and it has its own lore and all its, beauty, right? We can make something that's like great for everybody. So just some ideas. This isn't really like a podcast, but I guess it is kind of like a podcast. This is me. I'm Starscream. Just fucking Starbucks, the Bard. I make the videos and I cheat, obviously. I mean, fuck. You pussies can't kill my Bard, right? Fucking cry about it. Anyways, holler back.